Hey there, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to focus on back bends. For some of us, we absolutely love back bends. They make us feel warm and fuzzy. For others of us, we may find them a little bit challenging. So listen to your body throughout our flow today. When we're ready, coming onto our mat into bridge pose. I love bridge pose. It warms up the lower part of the body as well as the back. So starting with our hips, knees, ankles, all the same distance apart. When we're ready, taking a deep breath in as we exhale. Scooping the tailbone, really engaging the core muscles, pressing the lower back into the floor, press the feet in and lift the hips up, finding our bridge. And lowering the hips down. We'll do this a couple more times, adding the breath, one movement. As we exhale, scoop, engage the core, lift the hips. Then lower the hips. 2 more times, following our own breath. Remember to take a break whenever we want it. And we're going to start to rock and roll. Sometimes it's easier to cross at the ankles, placing the hands under the knees. When we're ready, tucking the chin into the chest, gently rock ourselves up. Rounding through the spine, bringing the chin back to the chest, rock it back, stopping at the shoulders so we don't put any pressure in the head. Just going to do this a couple more times. Nice little back massage. And as we uncross at the ankles, next time we come up, we're going to come all the way up to the feet. Into forward fold. Soft bend in the knees. As we inhale, rolling it up 1 vertebra at a time. Rolling the shoulders back and down, floating the head up. Moving into standing back bend. Standing tall. Spreading the toes out nice and wide, pressing the heels into the floor. Scooping the tailbone, really engage the core here. This helps protect the back as we move through our back bends. Deep breath in, reaching up high. Throughout our back bend, we want to keep the ears tucked right between the biceps. Start just nice and easy. Lift through the spine, shoulders back and down. Lifting through the heart, just lifting our gaze up to the sky. Noticing how that feels, breathing deeply. Then bringing the hands back into the heart center. Releasing. We'll do that a couple more times. Each time we'll bring this a little bit deeper before we move any further, checking our form. Strong roots into the mat. Scooping the tailbone, engage the belly, shoulders back and down. Lifting through the heart. So we're not reaching for the back of the room. We're lengthening through the spine. And taking it back to center. Releasing the hands, deep breath in. Last one for this series. Lift nice and tall, scoop the tailbone, keeping the ears between the arms. And floating up using the core, the nice strong muscles. Releasing the hands, deep breath in. Hands into the heart center. Moving into standing big toe. Bringing all the weight of the body into the left leg. Again, strong form. Scoop the tailbone. Softness in the knees. We never want to lock out the knees. We want to use those quadricep muscles, bringing them up towards the hips. Shoulders back and down. When we're ready, bringing the right foot in front of us and flexing the foot. Again, this is about balance. We're going to build and add on, so stop wherever you're comfortable. We can stay here, finding a spot to focus that doesn't move. If we're comfortable, we can lift the knee. We can place the right hand either under the thigh or peace fingers around the big toe, bringing the left hand to the head. When we're ready, we can begin to press the foot forward. Rolling the shoulder back, keeping the hip tucked in tight, breathing deep. Now we're going to work the front of the hip. When we're ready, gently releasing the big toe, seeing if we can keep it lifted, really squeeze that left butt cheek. Then slowly floating the foot down. We can take a moment in mountain pose if we want, or move right into dancer. Bring the hand out to the side, floating the right foot up. If we're new to dancer, we can take the outside of the ankle. This helps us to keep the hips squared. But ideally, when we're ready, we can bring the hand to the inside of the foot. Left arm reaching up high. Check the form, shoulders back and down. When we're ready, pressing the foot into the hand, keeping our heart nice and lifted as we find our dancer. Remember to breathe. And when we're ready, rising back up and release it down. Returning to center, moving to the other side. Strength is in the right leg. Belly is in nice and tight. Scoop the tailbone. Shoulders back and down. Floating the left foot up, flexing through the foot. Again, we can stay here. Enjoy this balancing pose. We're still building strength. If and when we're comfortable, bending the knee, floating it up. Left hand can come under the thigh or peace fingers around the big toe. Right hand to the hip. Nice and strong through the body. Pressing the foot forward. Again, making sure that we're not reaching into it. We want to be strong and powerful. Then when we're ready, releasing the big toe. Lowering it down a little bit at a time. Again, we can take a moment if we want it, or straight into our dancer. Bringing the left hand out, taking hold of the inside or outside of the left foot. Right arm floats up, belly's in. Firm foundation, finding a spot to focus. Gently pressing the foot into the hand. Then when we're ready, rising up. Releasing the leg, taking it back to center. Releasing the hands, deep breath in, reaching up. Soft knees, swan dive all the way down. Relaxing here for a moment, letting the lower back, middle back, and upper back take a little break. Then when we're ready, stepping back to our downward facing dog. Again, we have the option, we can hop, skip, or jump, or step the right foot back, left foot back, downward facing. Breathing deep here, pressing the fingertips away from the shoulders, letting the armpits smile towards one another, really strengthening the back. When we're ready, three-legged dog, right foot floating up to the sky. We want to stretch in the hamstring. We can keep the hips squared here, really pressing through that right heel. If we want to open through the hips, or we can float it up as high as it is comfortable, maybe even bend it a little bit. Feeling the stretch through the legs, through the hips. Breathing deep. Pressing the right foot back up to the sky as we take this into crescent lunge. Hugging the knee into the heart, rounding through the spine. Taking a brief moment in cheetah pose. Great strengthening posture. Then look to the fingertips, gently placing the right foot forward. Left knee comes down. Rolling it up. For practice today, we're going to keep the back knee down just to really focus on the front of the hip. Lengthening through the spine, deep breath in. Again, we can stay here, but if we want to add in that little back bend into our crescent lunge, when we're ready, press the front foot in to help bring us away from that thigh. Feeling a deeper stretch in the left hip. Inhale, reaching up. Again, keeping the ears tucked between the arms, scooping the tailbone, belly's in. From here, we can lift through the heart. Continuing to push the front foot in. Listen to the body. Remember, we never want to take it too deep. The toe on the left foot is firmly pressing in as well. And bringing the hands to the heart center. Releasing the hands down, pressing the hips back. Right toes up to the sky. Just going to take a nice little break here. Feeling the stretch through the back of the right leg. Then when we're ready, coming back to our crescent lunge, shifting the hips forward. Deep breath in, reaching all the way up to the sky. Reaching up, lifting through the heart. And on our breath out, rising up, hands into the heart center, release it down, curling the left toes under, left knee comes up, stepping it back to our downward facing dog. Moving to the other side, left foot floating up, finding a stretch through the hips, still keeping that left hand firmly planted. And pressing it up, taking this into our crescent lunge. Through cheetah, hug the knee into the heart, really work the core. Give the knee a little kiss, look forward, and place it forward, bringing the right knee down to the mat. Scooping the tailbone, Feeling the stretch right through here. Press the left foot into the floor. Rising up. Have fun with it. Then when we're ready, lifting through the heart, keeping the ears between the arms. Breathing deep. Softening the muscles in the face. And hands into the heart center. Release it down, pressing the hips back. Stretching out through the left hamstring. Then when we're ready, taking it back into our crescent lunge. The right toe, the big toe, is firmly grounded. This helps keep us rooted. Deep breath in, reaching up high. Lifting through the heart. And as we exhale, bring the hands back down. Curling the right toes under, right knee up. Stepping it back to our downward facing dog. On our next breath in, floating to plank. Scooping the tailbone, engaging the core, shoulders away from the ears. Elbows tucked in as we float towards the mat. Taking it into cobra. And into child's pose. Work from the core, belly's in nice and tight. Pressing the hips to the heels. Bring the hands under the shoulders, pressing ourselves up. Hips to one side, feet sweep around the other. Coming back to our bridge pose. Hands behind us to support us as we lower ourselves all the way down. Pressing the feet into the floor, engage the core. Floating the hips up. We can stay here. If we want a little bit more, we can interlace the hands under the hips. Walking the shoulders under the body. Lifting through the heart. If we're a fan of upward facing bow, we can take that option as well. Walking the shoulders up. Placing the hands at the tops of the shoulders, fingertips pointing in, elbows pointing up. When we're ready, core and strong, press the hands into the floor as we take it to the top of the head. And pressing up when we're ready. Breathing deep. When we're ready to come out of our upward facing bow, chin to chest. Lower down, stay in control. Remember, you don't want to do any harm. And lowering the hips down, hugging the knees into the chest, gently rocking it side to side. Lifting the forehead towards the knees to lengthen out the spine. And lowering it down. Moving into modified hero's pose. We're going to find a nice stretch here. Walking the feet out wider than the hips. So close to the edges of the mat, depending on our mat. Lowering both knees over to the left side. We're going to let the left leg relax. We're not going to worry ourselves about the back leg. We're going to think about the right leg for right now. For some of us, we may already be feeling that stretch running through the top of the leg. If we're comfortable, we can take this right foot, walk it a little bit closer to the outer hip. If we're not feeling a stretch yet, look down to the knee carefully. And see that the knee is pressing straight forward. If it's diagonal, we're not going to feel a stretch. So we want to press that knee straight ahead. Breathing deep. If we have any knee injuries, please be careful in this posture. Then when we're ready, slowly picking both knees up, coming back to our foundation pose. Feet out wider than the hips. And lowering both knees over to the right side. Make sure that that knee is pointing straight ahead. So we may want to walk that foot out a little bit. And just let it relax. Soften through the legs, soften through the lower back. If we're comfortable, we can reach down. Bring the left foot up a little higher. Breathing deep. Then when we're ready, slowly bringing both knees back to center. Hugging the knees in once again, rocking it side to side. Lifting the forehead towards the knees. And lowering it down. Relaxing the feet.